News from Washington Governor Jay Inslee tonight about the confusion surrounding veterans and the vaccine lottery. We explain why their names were not included in the state's vaccine database.
And 2021 shaping up to be one of the worst fire seasons the state of Washington has ever seen. Tonight, what some of the most experienced firefighters in our region are already predicting.
Cool today and lots of cloud cover, tracking some much needed rain at times, and then it gets really warm again next week. I'll have your forecast next.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here for KREM2 News at 5. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. It is not uncommon this time of year to hear people predicting a bad wildfire season later this summer, but local firefighters themselves say this year could be different.
In fact, when comparing conditions to 2014 or 2015, when the town of Pateros burned and hundreds of homes were destroyed, they're still saying this year could be even worse. I had a chance to talk to some of the most experienced firefighters in our region. Here's what they told me today.
This year, some aspects of it around the state are the driest on record. What does that mean? Well, if it stays that way, it means we could have fire conditions like we've never seen before.
So we're out here today. Looks like a lot of green, right? It's spring. It's kind of the wildflowers and whatnot, but you're seeing something different.
Absolutely. Even though things look green, we already know that they're not. And because of the drought, they're stressed.
Trees like this that you were showing me, how do you know they're stressed?
Well, one way you can do it is just by breaking them. And it should be obvious, right, that the dry stuff snaps really easy. You know, if it were green, wet at all, it would be rubbery, but everything, doesn't matter what size, just snaps. But what's disturbing a little bit is when we even look at the green branches, they're doing the same thing. So that's telling you now, normally what we would expect is these to be real rubbery, but when we bend them, they just break, just like I did there. They snap like the dry. So that's telling me that these are stressed and they're very, very dry.
So even just looking at it, when it looks like it's green and healthy, is not a good indicator.
It's not a good indicator.
Really, we only have a few more weeks left of our normal rainy season. And once we move into July, it's really setting us up to start this fire season under extreme conditions.
In 2015, we were seeing those extended attack or type 3 fires almost every week. So when I think of that, and I think of 2015, I see a fire season that's going to define us in 2021 worse than 2015 ever was.
One of the challenges will be is if everybody has fires, then as you know, as we get into the summer months, do we have enough firefighters?
That's certainly a concern. When we look back to the 2020 fire season, which was a very late season, we had a lot of fires on the landscape, and it was hard getting resources because all of the other regions in the West were having the same problems.
What is the sentiment among fellow firefighters? Is everyone worried?
They are worried, and they should be. You know, this is definitely a heads-up year. There's a lot of safety concerns that firefighters need to be aware of. Fires that we would normally see this time of year that we would easily be able to put under control are going to be more difficult to contain.
When you have these conditions, the potential for very large fires is real.
It's here, it's real, and unless we get a lot of rain, it's going to continue.
You said this was your 34th fire season here. Have you ever been maybe this worried about a fire season that is coming?
No. This is absolutely the worst.
So the big takeaways here, of course, is that we all have to do our part. Every single one of us needs to take it seriously because we all have a role to play. The vast majority of wildfires are human caused, as they are every year. Don't throw your cigarette butts out the window. Don't go shooting in dry grass. We have to be smart about campfires, incredibly smart, and of course follow those burn restrictions. The other thing that we can't control, of course, is the weather, and we desperately, desperately need rain.
Right. All right, well, let's get right to the man who knows all about that. That is meteorologist Tom Sherry standing by outside. Tom, we saw a little bit of rain earlier this week. I think even a bit this morning. Are we going to see any more this week?
Well, we're going to get a little bit more, and areas of northern Idaho, north central Idaho, and western Montana are going to get a lot of rain late tonight and in the overnight hours, but not a lot of rain going to be falling in Washington State. We'll look for a chance of a few showers on Friday, but not that good drenching rain. Quite frankly, it would be fabulous just to have a week-long rainfall. I know that wouldn't be great for playing outside, but hey, to save our summer, that's what we need. We're not seeing that happening at all. Temperatures will be in the 70s through Saturday. Then we're going to climb into the 80s on Sunday, and we'll see 80s and even lower 90s at times next week. So yeah, we've got hot, dry weather on the way again, unseasonably warm. Right now we're unseasonably cool. Cloudy skies, 60 degrees. The winds are calm, as you can see. Doppler radar looking very quiet, except when you begin to look over here into areas of western Montana. That's where we're seeing some of that rain, and we think this rain here will spread more into north central Idaho and into the Panhandle late tonight and into the overnight hours, but we're not going to see a lot of it in the Evergreen State, that's for sure, and just a few isolated showers, as you can see, up along the Canadian border. So day planner forecast calling for, yeah, maybe a few showers, but not much. 49 the overnight low, overnight, I should say. Tomorrow, a few showers, windy too, getting wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Then I think we'll see cloud cover clearing out by Thursday afternoon into the evening hours before another weather system moves in on Friday morning, and that will give us a chance of a few showers Saturday morning, but certainly warmer at 76. I've got 87 degrees expected on Sunday. I'll have a look at your complete outlook coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll talk to you then, Tom. Thank you very much. Tonight, we now know the identities of the 3 victims who died in the head-on crash with a fire engine. That crash happened on Monday afternoon on Highway 395 near Loon Lake in Stevens County.
Tonight, KREM2's Amanda Rowley is joining us in the newsroom with what we know about these young victims so far. Amanda?
Mark and Whitney, Washington State Patrol is still investigating this fatal collision, and the Stevens County coroner told me she plans to release the names of the 3 people who died in the crash tomorrow. However, the mother of one of those victims confirmed their names with me today. Lisa Loudermilch is the mother of 19-year-old Anthony Loudermilch. He was in the car with Chance Wilbur and Jasmine Cogswell when they collided head-on with a Stevens County fire engine on Highway 395. All 3 died at the scene near Loon Lake. The 2 firefighters are expected to be okay, though. A GoFundMe account has been created for the memorial of Jasmine Cogswell. There's also a fundraiser for Chance Wilbur, but we have not yet been able to verify it with his parents. Now, Lisa told me this afternoon Anthony's family is creating a fundraiser today at their bank. She will be sharing more information that we can share with the community on that soon. Now, in the meantime, detectives with the Washington State Patrol are asking for any witnesses to the fatal crash to contact them. Of course, we've posted that information on our website at KREM.com. Reporting in the newsroom tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Well, we have some big news from the Washington COVID vaccine lottery. You might want to check your voicemail here soon. Lottery officials have now reached out to 248 presumptive winners of things like Seahawks tickets, Xboxes, and fishing licenses. They left a lot of voicemails, and they're encouraging people to check and see if you are a winner.
The governor's office also gave an update today about confusion on whether veterans are included in the vaccine database to be eligible for that lottery. Many veterans got their shots through a federal program, meaning their names were not included in the state's vaccine database. Our political reporter, Casey Decker, joining us live now. And Casey, what answers did Inslee provide today?
Well, Inslee said that the state has been working to incorporate vets into the database for months, but that the military simply hasn't been able to provide the info they need. Many veterans, of course, were vaccinated through the Federal Department of Veterans Affairs or Department of Defense, and their record-keeping systems are different from the Washington Department of Health. Now, the state has been able to get a raw number of how many vets have gotten shots, but not an actual list of names, and that means at least vets are being counted in the quest for 70%. Inslee said about 150,000 have gotten at least 1 dose. However, without that list of names, they aren't eligible for the incentive lottery. But the governor said today he's working to make sure vaccinated vets can get some prizes regardless.
We will provide an incentive program so that the Department of Defense folks and the veterans are in some incentive program. We are still figuring out the exact dimensions of that. We're still trying to get information from the federal government. It will be easier for us to administer this if they were able to give us that information. But if they are unable or unwilling, we will have probably a standalone program for our folks in the military and our veterans. They're owed that. We're going to make sure that they get that.
All right, and one other update today about reopening. When we get to 70% or just when we reach June 30th, whichever comes first, we know that basically everything will fully reopen. But tonight, Governor Inslee announced one exception to that. Large indoor venues that hold more than 10,000 people, those will have to stay at 75% capacity for the foreseeable future. Now, in our part of the state, that basically only affects the Spokane Arena and the Beasley Coliseum in Pullman. But it means for the Spokane Shock, Spokane Chiefs, for some WSU sports, and for concerts at those arenas, they won't be able to completely fill up again. They'll be limited to just 75% capacity. The governor did not provide any other update today regarding reopening or COVID protocols, just to say we're getting closer to our goals. So if you aren't vaccinated, go get your shot and help speed up that process even more. Also, that first lotto drawing you mentioned, it did happen last night, but we don't have any info yet on who won. Inslee said, though, the incentives do seem to be working. There's been a spike in vaccine appointments since the lotto was announced. In the newsroom tonight, Casey Decker, KREM2 News.
Casey, thank you very much. And just a reminder, there are several categories of prizes offered in the vaccine lottery, including cash, tuition assistance, tickets to sporting events, gift cards, airline tickets, and gaming systems. The most coveted prizes, though, involve cold hard cash. There will be 4 prizes of $250,000 each, and then 1 grand prize of $1 million. Drawings will occur on Tuesdays in June, and you need to have received at least your first vaccine to be eligible. Winners will receive a phone call, and then they'll have 72 hours to claim their prize. For more information on Washington's vaccine lottery drawing today, just text the word lottery to 509-448-2000.
And in Idaho today, Governor Brad Little visited Empire Airlines in Headon, and while he was there, he talked about the state's budget surplus that was announced earlier today. Now, according to Little's office, May's state revenue figures came in at $550 million more than they were projecting. He basically credited that increase to many things, including fewer COVID restrictions than neighboring states, as well as his mandate for government departments to spend 5% less than previously planned. And with this higher than expected revenue, he says he plans to do something big and bold when it comes to education, and he's focusing on teacher salaries, especially here in the Idaho Panhandle.
The resources we're providing them to get these kids caught up, and then our commitment on fulfilling the career ladder to make that competitive disadvantage that we have in Idaho go away as much as we can.
Governor Little also announced, due to this extra revenue, the state is planning to provide tax relief for Idahoans in the form of a payment. So he says that'll be equal to about 9% of whatever you paid in taxes in 2019. Those checks are expected to go out sometime in August.
Earlier today, Gonzaga men's basketball coach Mark View spoke in support of Congress passing a national name, image, and likeness law. Coming up after the break, we hear from View on why he says he is very much in favor of college athletes making money. Stay with us. We're back after this.